This is really a halacha for bakers, those who bake. It says the rabbi is prohibited to knead and to bake bread, rolls, baguettes, and the like, pitas and the like, with milk or any dairy product. Meaning, if you decide you want to make bread with dairy, you're not allowed to. Instead of using, let's say, your wife uses water, instead of using water, you use milk. You're not allowed to. And also, we'll get to it. And also, they said you're not allowed to bake it with meat product, with fleshig product. Why? Because of the concern that the person who eats this bread would come to eat it with the other type, with the other species.
There's no one that can eat it.
Right, so if it's going to be a dairy bread or a fleshig bread, it could come. It could be a situation where someone eats it with, if it's meat, he would eat it with dairy, or vice versa. So, to avoid it, the rabbi said you shouldn't do it. Mutar lalush v'lefot im mutzarei chalav im basar. So when are you allowed? Lalush is to knead and to bake a dairy product with meat, fleshig product, with meat product. So you have three possibilities. Number one, if you're baking a very small quantity, when I say meat with meat, milk with meat, I mean you're allowed to, in what scenarios you'd be allowed to knead the dough with dairy or to knead the dough with meat. So he writes you have three possibilities. If you are baking a very small amount for the necessities of your family, just for what your family need, and just for that day, so you know what they will be able to finish that day and nothing will be left over. That's one option. And number two, then you're allowed to. Number two, if you make a very unique shape to the bread, and anyone who sees it would right away understand that something is different about this bread. Like we know the showbread had a very interesting look, and it's just another way of reminding yourself what it is. And number three, if it's noticeable on the bread that it's dairy or meat, for example, if he scattered, they put on the bread before baking it cheese crumbs or meat crumbs, so then it's like it's very noticeable, like you can see right away what it is. But if he baked more than one day, quantity that can last more than one day, and he didn't change anything in the bread, he left the bread the way it is, before the baking, this bread is prohibited. You're not allowed to eat this bread. You can't eat if you made, he didn't do all the different options that we mentioned, he made more than one day, you're not allowed to eat it. Afilu lelo basar chalav. Even to eat, you say, well, I'm not going to eat it with dairy or meat. I'm just going to eat it without any of it.
It doesn't matter.
So you're not allowed to eat it. Ve'eno moel, and it says it doesn't help to cook, to change it afterwards. Once it's baked, you can't make. What did we say before? You can make a special shape. But he says now, after it's baked, it's too late. Ve'chen lo moel lechalek. It says therefore, it's not benefiting us in any way to give it to a lot of people so they can finish it in the same day. If you baked more than what is needed for one day, it's over. It's not going to be good.
Now, what they say for you, the question is that